Alright, welcome back to Let's Play Victoria 2, and apparently Bombay is being occupied by Sweden. There's nobody there. It's probably just a bug from me reloading. Okay, got a lot of people talking about stuff. This is probably going to go up a little bit late, but that's alright. One of the things I wanted to talk about was the fact that I have a lot of troops over here in India. And most of the reason I've just been ignoring this stuff is because, well, I've been using a lot of this stuff, not necessarily all of it. But I've been, you know, taking over parts of India and you know, having the troops around was not necessarily, you know, having all of them around was necessary, but I needed some, and the fact that most of these are infantry, crappy infantry, and I wouldn't want to bring these over to Europe and fight with those. I think I do have some infantry over my European armies, but I mean, they're not as bad as irregulars, but they're almost as bad as irregulars. I mean, the defense is noticeably worse, which is a lot of times what you're trying to get is your defense, and the attack is worse too, and discipline. Now, like, the stat line isn't everything. You notice that the attack on engineers is not all that great either. But they do other stuff. I mean, they have 1 in siege. One of the things I'm working towards is guards, which have a weird stat line right now. I mean, they have really good siege for what they are. But they need cars, and I can't show that right now. And we don't have any car factories yet. But I'm still going to try to build as many of them as I can. They're not necessarily just the elite troops they are in the normal game. In Pop Demand Mod, they're like these weird specialized troops. But they're still nice to have. They actually have less discipline than regulars, but their stat line goes up as you go along. Any case, my troops in India are over here because they suck, and they're not all regular. They're not all infantry. Some of them are regulars and normal artillery and stuff like that. But you gotta have some stuff backing that stuff up. And because I'm worried about a large revolt happening in India, and that's where I'm most likely to have a separatist revolt is in India. So that's the sort of thing that I actually really do have to worry about. Apparently I can't build railroads here yet. No, it's building it right now. So, I mean, it's got other reasons. I turned down a war with France, but I actually did fight Amalfi and Lancaster last time, so I'm not sure where people's idea of me being not aggressive enough came from. Because, I mean, I was allied with France at the time, so I just didn't want to fight them because it was pointless to, you know, I would get a little bit of Africa, which would not be that useful. And plus, over here, they have like 100,000 troops standing over here in Indochina. So that would have been good, especially if I had moved my troops out of India. I can imagine how bad that would be. So me being a little gun-shy against the Europeans probably stems from me losing that war to North Germany. Which I still think would happen at the moment. And France may even be in a similar tech position than them. So, it's not necessarily that I'm probably not as powerful as I look. Let's put it that way. Especially when you consider all these stuff over here. These are mostly garbage troops. There's probably, oh, a total of maybe 40,000 actual good troops in India. And the rest of them are, you know, trash, basically. A little bit better than trash. So, I mean, all these troops over here are good troops, and I've put them where they need to be. A better accusation would be that I'm wasting all of my troops up here, and there are some infantry up here and stuff like that, so I suppose, but I have like full armies up here sitting around doing nothing against nobody. I mean, I put them up there to defend against the Immortals when I was thinking I was going to have a war with them, but I didn't really need to. And then I thought I might need them to fight Smolensk, but they didn't go through anything. As far as fighting Muscovy or something like that, the only real reason to do that, for me, would be to get Uralsk. And I don't know if I want to do that. Other people told me to go after them to help, go after other people to help them out. And that's the kind of thing that it's not necessarily that simple. The only people I can really help at this point are the Immortals. And one of the things you need to realize is that putting them in my sphere would really not do anything. These guys all started the game civilized. And obviously Smolensk is a great power. And Muscovy is a secondary power, so that they might become a great power if they do well enough. So it's not like any of these are uncivilized. They have the means and wherewithal to actually do what they're doing. I mean, they actually have factories, the Immortals do. It's just a matter of them not doing what they were supposed to do. They've lost too much land to actually be helpful anymore, and I can no longer help them do anything. Aside from fighting all of their battles myself, which is, I don't know, largely hopeless, I would say. So, it's not worth my time to really bother with the Immortals. If I was going to help anybody, it would be Muscovy. But at the moment, I really wouldn't want to deal with Smolensk. Even though Smolensk is not that strong, they're allied with Amalfi, and while I did fight Amalfi and beat Amalfi, they're not even a great power anymore. It may be more trouble than it's worth, especially since getting a proper CB on them is not really something I can do. So, the best I can do is to ally with Muscovy, so I guess I will do that. Other alliances, the other people in the, as I and other people have been calling it, the Zoroastrian Persia, are not being all that helpful. Egypt's basically giving me a bunch of prestige, I suppose, and they won't even give me an alliance because I own cores of theirs. So there's nothing I can do about that. The Alpurikids are crap. The War Kids, I don't think, I haven't even started trying to add them to my sphere or anything like that. And it looks like France is already doing that. And I believe France has a thing where they annex people if they are in their sphere in North Africa. I don't know. It just seems that's what happens. So we're going to probably see more of France up here, if I have my guess correctly. Something I do think we'll see is that Bavaria is probably going to end up in North Germany's sphere, and then they'll form Germany. It's a matter of time whether that actually happens or not. I think and whether they need stuff like Bohemia Moravia is anyone's guess. And Denmark is no longer in their sphere, so they probably have to fight them too. So that's probably going to be the setup. In 1890 is when Great Wars unlock, which is another reason to be gun-shy of fighting great powers, because if two great powers are on the same side in the war, and the other side has two great powers, it becomes a great war, which is really bad for the loser, especially, and it becomes increasingly difficult to get the objectives for the war. So it's not necessarily something that you want to get involved in for no reason. And the last time I was doing stuff, it really was for no reason. There was no reason to do that. So I don't think you're going to see me be any more aggressive about trivial things like that in the future. So right here I'm putting in my dudes to try to make this. Is this 43? Yeah. To get these to be states. That's more important than anything else at the moment. That's 26. And 26 is pretty good. One of the things I might want to do is to change the focus here from craftsman to automotive industry, excuse me. Try to make them try to start building cars. I don't know if that'll actually work, but we'll see. When I tried focusing things before, it didn't work. To try to help this along, I'll get rid of this factory. See if they'll do something about that. Just a little bit of encouragement, I suppose. I think I need to get my relations back up with Lancaster because I was at war with them. But everybody else I should still be pretty good with. There is something to note here, and that's this number. Lancasters and France have been surpassed by Great Vinland. The only reason France is up that high is because of its prestige. As a matter of fact, we have more prestige than everybody except Great Vinland in France, so... well, a lot of that was for both of us, was from the canals. And I don't even think they're done with their canals, so they might even get more. Nope. Okay. So. Got my foci done, got a bunch of stuff building. Oh, and because it's getting towards 1890, I will need to save some points for this. So I'm going to be doing that. So let's just get started. So now we're allied with Muscovy. Probably a good idea. And if I'm going to fight any great power, I probably would end up fighting the Dutch over India. They're not a great power, but I'd have to fight Vinland. Vinland does not scare me because, well, I think I have the biggest navy. And while my navy tech is not that great, I have 96 ships. Do I have the most brigades, too? No, Shun does. But Shuns are all shitty. 5% literacy. It's great. Okay. Oh, and another thing is, somebody wanted me to get more, educational efficiency. Not educational efficiency, tax efficiency. And, I'm not sure why I would bother doing that, considering I'm running my taxes up so high to piss people off. I'm actually going to lower my rich taxes because I would have more money to spend on factories and stuff. I did eventually get a couple of steamer factories built. There's some more infamy. Ah, there! Automobile factory. Perfect. Okay. Alright, so now we're allied with Muscovy. Now, if I'm going to fight any great power, I probably would end up fighting the Dutch over India. They're not a great power, but I'd have to fight Vinland. So, now that I have that set up, one thing legitimate criticism I feel is that I wasn't paying attention when choosing who I was declaring Moron. So I should keep doing that. And I should start lowering my relations with the Zulu, so that I can declare war on them, since they're the largest country left. I have truces with these guys, I think? Yeah. And I think these guys are allied with these guys. And from the past, we've seen that you can only annex one person at a time in a war, so... that's pretty close to my limit, but I'll go ahead and just, if I do get caught, then it'll be close to my limit as far as infamy is concerned. I was actually already standing right now, that's good. Now something I thought about doing was, oh great. So what I want to do here is just build, even though I already know that I have 45 guards. That's quite an attack force if I actually get that built. Even though I'm already building an automotive factory. You could always have more of those, because they're very expensive. They're not just strategic resources, they're also good for people will buy them, and you'll get money out of them. Gain 3 is war exhaustion. We will not accept the agitations of the capitalists and the war profiteers trying with their vicious imperialist propaganda to pit the workers of one country against the workers of another. Workers of the world are all brothers and we all speak the same language. I don't think that's true. The sweat on a brother's brow is the sweat on ours, and the blood from a brother's heart pumps through our veins. Capitalist comrades make the money, and we comrades spill the blood. A strike has broken out one of our provinces, organized by the subversive elements within the trade union movement. The strike is officially organized under the parole of peace and solidarity. Some in our cabinet suspect the demonstration is a crypto-socialist manifestation of power. Yeah, we're not going to do that. I'll take the war exhaustion. Do we have any dudes going on? I've been trying to trigger this stuff. Persian communists, there we go. I don't really care about that. I will win the war once I occupy this. So, whatever. But no. Oh, something else I wanted to do was to open this back up. And I'm not gonna mess with that. I really wish there was a way to just like select all of them and just say, show me all the messages. But it keeps turning off when I reload the game. Something else I wanted to do was reorganize my navy, because I have transports in here and they keep getting killed. So, Battle of Oralsk. These my rebels? Ibrahimov. That sounds Russian. Oh. Russian patriots. This is like 20,000 guys cross the border into that province. It's probably a Russian corps. No, it's not. I don't know. I'm gonna build a fort here. Actually, I should build a fort everywhere over here. Just in case. Anyway, back to what I was doing. Steam transport monitor. I don't want to monitor guarding these. You go here. And the fact that I have such a large navy is good. Because it means I can defend myself effectively against people who, on paper, are probably a bit stronger than me as far as tech goes. I can avoid fighting their armies by having a huge navy. which was kind of the idea, especially since I have monitors, which are very good for fighting within a certain range of land, which is perfect for the Mediterranean. It's almost like galleys. And that's where I'm going to be doing most of my fighting. So that's, you know, not necessarily a bad plan. And even France doesn't have as many ships as I do, and I can see their navy. This is their navy? There's 80 ships here, but they have 16, you know, transports and 34 light ships, whereas the majority of my ships are heavy ships, which would completely wreck those things. Although monitors would probably count as light ships, I don't remember. I'm pretty close to my limit as far as my ships goes. I remember I crossed the limit a little bit. Yeah, because these count as like 5 ships and these count as 2. I could probably afford to build some more monitors, but I'm not going to bother doing that. These are actually faster than ironclads. I didn't realize that. It's pretty great. And I'm sure that France's navy is steamships at this point. Rather than, you know, Amalfi had some sailing ships. There we go. Just go ahead and move down here. Now I don't want to put in any reforms so that I can instigate those communists as much as I can. I think getting Brunei into my sphere is a good idea, because I think it's prevented France from taking any more pieces of it, which is pretty nice. Continue. York continues to go on its African rampage. I'm guessing these guys are still around because they have a truce with them. No, they actually don't. Looks like Bavaria is at war with Slovenia. I don't know when that popped out. Probably the war with, oh no, .1 infamy. With Germany. That war with Germany probably caused them to kick that out. Okay. Well, since we're here, you definitely don't want to be doing this, especially against people who actually can give you a good fight. It's chain wars over and over. Might as well. Ooh, I saw that Japan is at war with Korea. I'm gonna puppet them. This is something that normally happens. Sydney Webb. Whatever. So we're just about into 1890 here. And it's random who gets the Great War thing, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of that happening. Oil well found in Dubai. Okay, so apparently I'm at war with both of the other African nations down here. Voting fraud. Major instance of voting fraud has occurred in an election where a local assembly in one of our states. We have every reason to believe that the vote was actually a major victory for local conservatives. The Liberal Party has nevertheless claimed victory, stepping in from a national level. To correct these frauds is what is expected of us, and securing the conservative victory would reduce overall militancy in the area. But then again, maybe the Liberals would be better to have in power. I don't think so. Considering how much they will do bad for our, you know, economy, I don't think so. There we go. Discovered something else. Separatism, that's no good. Okay. Now, one of the nice things about having Egypt is that sometimes you'll get those events that give you a bunch of tech points. I don't think that's going to work. But, hey. Whatever. I can't rely on that, I should say. Hey, Zulu, you're a butt. I always like the idea of just them causing a war because of insults. This is my Suez Canal money. Got a new space, they better. Fear our might. Cheap iron, that's way behind. They're not... Huh. Oh. Wow. That's something I need to think about. If Slovenia's inventing gas attack... Whoa. What does that even unlock? Deep defense system, okay. So I'm going to need to get that. Because that is something that is going to be instrumental, especially gas defense, to prevent people from killifying all of my dudes, because you can lose a lot of dudes to gas. And their Great War unlocked. France unlocked it. Something I definitely want to look at is to make sure I can see who's allied with who. Diplomacy. So I want to see what the alliances are. Alliance offer. Pop up. I really want to see where they cancel their alliance with their people and stuff like that. Okay. That's cool. Suffragette hunger strike. A Persian suffragette jailed on account of violent protesting during a rally has gone on to a 2-week hunger strike in one of our state's prisons, protesting the Persian Republic's supposedly poor treatment of women. The strike is carried out under the slogan "Votes for Women." And the case has been made for women's suffrage. Women's suffrage the focal point of local political debate, with every newspaper left, right, and center reporting on the case. Which suggests that the local authorities force-feed the hysterical women and all the liberals gain 3 militancy. Or the conservatives gain militancy. The conservatives gaining militancy, I'm not sure what that would even do. Jacobites, maybe? I'm actually getting railroads in these desert areas now, finally. I guess I want to be agitating the liberals, though. World's Fair, yeah. I like having the canal when doing that, because it's basically just paying for the World's Fair with my canal money. I'm not really worried about any of this crap, because this war will be over as soon as this siege is finished. I can get some prestige from fighting battles, a little bit, here and there. Consciousness? Screw you guys. So how far along is my Plovdiv? I got some more Russians crossing the border here. Looks like. $200 days. Are there any automobiles on the market already? North German Federation. Not necessarily surprising they would have that. So the next thing I think I want to get after this is probably revolution and counter-revolution. And, well, I think maybe I should get cheap steel, and then revolution, counter-revolution, and then deep defense, because if I am going to have to end up fighting a great war, I'm going to want to have that. Great wars, Vandistan fears their might, I'm not sure why. War winning everywhere. France expands, Casablanca, yeah. So they've taken part of the war kids and have started colonizing over here. There's nothing I can do about it. Not sure why the Sahara is easier to colonize than stuff down here, but whatever. I mean, this is desert too, I suppose. But nobody actually lives in the Sahara. Well, I guess that could be true down here. Like, they're actually colonizing into this actual Sahara. There's 4,000 people here. I guess it's closer to Europe. I'm not sure the logic behind that. Then again, you know, the empty quarter shouldn't have people in it either. And it doesn't. You're losing people. Everybody's leaving. To Africa. Whatever. Speaking of Africa. 67, hey, that's going pretty quickly. Just a parliament. Consciousness or militancy. I don't want either of these. Bah. I'll pick the consciousness, I guess. I want that to be high. Mabane. Yes. Annex you.